Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Golden Bachelor's Theresa Nist details avoiding ex-Gerry Turner at Season 2 finale. Theresa Nist didn't expect her return to the Golden Bachelor universe to feel like walking into a room where time had rearranged itself. Season 2's finale had all the sparkle, suspense, and soft-lit romance viewers crave. But behind the cameras and beneath the glimmering gowns, an entirely different drama simmered, one that had nothing to do with roses or proposals. It was the delicate dance of avoidance between Theresa and her ex-husband, Gerry Turner. For the audience, the Season 2 finale was a celebration, champagne toasts, heartfelt confessions, and the promise of love found in life's golden years. But for Theresa, it began with a knot in her stomach, the same knot that tightened the morning she first read Gerry's name on the guest list. She almost didn't attend, but she reminded herself who she was: resilient, gracious, capable of walking through fire with poise. She had healed, slowly, privately, imperfectly, but healed enough to return with her head held high. Still, she had not prepared for a direct encounter with the man whose whirlwind romance had made headlines, melted hearts, and then fallen apart under the unforgiving weight of reality. "I wasn't ready for that conversation," Theresa confessed to a close friend backstage, adjusting the shimmering strap of her emerald gown. "Not tonight, not in front of everyone." From the moment she stepped into the venue, the cameras fed off the collision of past and present. Season 2 contestants mingled with former stars, the energy a nostalgic blend of familiar faces and fresh stories waiting to unfold. Theresa knew Gerry was somewhere in that glowing maze of sequins and smiles. She could sense him like a draft of cold air sneaking under a closed door. She kept moving. Feist, she slipped into the makeup room, pretending to search for a misplaced compact. Then she found refuge near the seating chart board, studying it like a complex battlefield map. She even lingered by the craft services table longer than any human ever should, staring at a tray of chocolate-covered strawberries while plotting escape routes. Producers watched it all unfold with the kind of awareness only reality TV veterans possess. They knew the audience would devour any moment, awkward, sweet, or explosive, between the show's most infamous exes. But Theresa had no intention of providing that clip. Every time a producer casually mentioned Gerry's location, near the VIP lounge, chatting with fellow alumni, giving a small interview, she pivoted like a seasoned spy. Her movement became an art form, smooth, silent, strategic. She even ducked behind a decorative floral arch when she spotted Gerry turning a corner. It would have been funny if it weren't so tense. "You look beautiful tonight," someone whispered to her, a compliment she accepted with a polite smile, though her mind was elsewhere, scanning the room for escape hatches. To her credit, she never let the tension overshadow the purpose of the night. She cheered for the finalists. She hugged Peg Munson and congratulated Mel Owens. She posed for photos with fans who adored her Season 1 glow, her honesty, her journey. They remembered her as the woman who had once believed in a love story with Gerry Turner, a story that had captivated millions and ended in heartbreak. But healing doesn't erase history. It simply lets you move around it. What Theresa wanted, what she desperately needed, was to avoid a public conversation with Gerry. Not out of anger, not anymore. Their chapter had closed, the ink dry, the pages tucked neatly away. She simply had no desire to reopen wounds for the sake of spectacle. "People assumed we'd talk," she later explained. "But healing doesn't always look like closure with the other person. Sometimes it's choosing not to revisit things that don't serve you anymore." Her avoidance wasn't cowardice. It was protection of her peace, her dignity, her progress. Meanwhile, Gerry seemed unaware of the soft, evasive maneuvers happening around him. He floated through the event with the polite charm he was known for, shaking hands, hugging old castmates, offering smiles that had once made America swoon. If he noticed Theresa's absence from his orbit, he gave no sign. But the finale was live to tape, and eventually, the cast was summoned to the stage for the traditional group segment. This was the moment Theresa had dreaded, the forced proximity, the gentle nudges from producers hoping for organic reconnect. She sighed deeply and rehearsed a plan in her head. Sit strategically, look composed, keep boundaries firm. As the cast gathered, she slipped into a seat on the far right side of the semicircle. A buffer of 3 people separated her from Gerry, and she exhaled, a small, private victory. When Gerry took his seat, for a moment their eyes almost met in the screen reflection overhead. But Theresa looked away before the connection could lock. The show went on. Questions flowed. Laughter rose and fell. The finale was everything fans wanted. Emotional, charming, unpredictable. And Theresa fulfilled her role gracefully, offering supportive comments, sharing reflections from her season, and celebrating the new love stories unfolding before their eyes. Meanwhile, she never once looked directly at Gerry. It was an act of self-preservation disguised as poise. After the taping wrapped, the cast mingled for final interviews and photos. Once again, Theresa mapped the room like a chessboard, pivoting each time Gerry entered her quadrant. It became a silent waltz, Gerry unaware of the choreography, Theresa directing every step with quiet determination. Finally, when the after-party music swelled and chatter filled the air, Theresa slipped out a side door, the cool night breeze hitting her skin like freedom. Later, when asked if she regretted not speaking to Gerry, she smiled gently. "Not every story needs an epilogue," she said. "Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is walk forward without looking back." Her words carried the weight of experience, the softness of acceptance, the strength of a woman who had learned to honor her peace above her past. And that, more than any dramatic reunion or teary conversation, was the quiet triumph of the night. Theresa Nist didn't just avoid Gerry Turner at the season 2 finale. She reclaimed her narrative. She chose herself. And in the world of reality TV, where closure is often scripted and emotions are exploited, that kind of choice is rare, powerful, and beautifully real.